Have you ever experienced a vulnerability hangover before? Today, I am having a self care day. Thankfully, I don't have a lot of work to do today, so I'm able to just take care of myself and my vulnerability hangover. I don't know if you've heard this term before. I think it was coined by Brene Brown. I know I followed her work back in 2016 after I suffered a really bad concussion and I was recovering from it. And I woke up this morning with an incredible vulnerability hangover. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience and then what intuitively I was guided to do to move through this energy. But make sure to save this to your favorites so that when you are experiencing this for yourself, you have this resource to go to remind yourself how to move through this energy if it feels correct for you. So, yesterday I got the intuitive guidance for me to start sharing my story with losing everything after my concussion and my journey of trying to find my soul's purpose and just kind of like rebuild myself and all the struggles that I've had over the years. And so, I recorded 2 videos yesterday that are on my YouTube page. And I woke up this morning after sharing one yesterday, and I woke up with like the most insane anxiety and vulnerability hangover. And it's interesting because it's not like I was sharing anything too like deep and vulnerable, but it was more just like putting myself in the space where I was committing to starting to share my journey and just like uncover everything that's going on internally and sharing it with the world, because I am here to share my experiences and share what's worked for me to help others to heal themselves who and resonate with the journey that I am on. So intuitively, what I received is that the reason why I was feeling vulnerable is because I've actually disconnected from that part of myself that experienced those things for a really, really long time, like pretty much like dissociated from those parts. And so, if you think about it, if you like totally disconnect from a part of yourself, whether it's a part of you that you like or you don't like, it's gonna feel like it needs love because it's had no attention, no love, no connection in the longest time. And the reason that for me personally that I have not been connecting to this part is because I've actually felt ashamed of what I've been through. And I just kind of got to a place where I was like, okay, that's the past. I've learned my lessons and now I'm just going to move on and I'm just going to create something new. But not realizing that my journey here is to share my experiences and what worked for me and what didn't work for me so that I can actually help others that are moving through these same energies. And so the vulnerability came up because I felt so shameful about those parts of myself. And the intuitive guidance that I got was to pull on one of the tools that I use quite regularly. And it's just like bringing acknowledgement to the parts of myself, the things that I'm experiencing, and to just really validate how I'm feeling. So, how that would look would be like, of course, you would feel super vulnerable when you're sharing a part of yourself that you seriously don't even want to look at yourself. And of course, you would feel vulnerable because it's like you've just committed to people publicly that you are starting to go on this journey where you're going to start to share yourself authentically and share the depths of the things that you've experienced on your journey. Like, of course, you would be feeling vulnerable. And of course, you would feel extremely vulnerable because you haven't even accepted those parts of yourself yet. And then you're going to be publicly sharing them with other people. So I completely acknowledge exactly where you're at right now. So I just like intuitively go through that and just kind of like riff on like what comes through for me. And then the next intuitive message that I got was to start to bring love and compassion to the parts of me that I haven't looked at because I felt too ashamed of them. And just bringing acknowledgement to them that like, I'm really sorry that I've been ashamed of you for so long and that I've disconnected from you, and just like reminding myself that I am human and we all go through things in our life, and it doesn't mean anything about you if you have experienced something traumatic and you're still working through it and you're not on the other side of it. Like, that's human. And there's no need to be ashamed of it, and you just need to just bring so much love to that part of yourself. So I would just kind of like work through that as well, and to just like remind yourself that like everyone is going through something. And the thing is people don't share what they're going through because they feel ashamed and they don't want to be vulnerable. But it takes so much strength and courage for you to share what's going on for yourself. And it actually will start to make other people feel less ashamed with what they're experiencing, because they'll be like, "Ah, like me too. Like I feel that way too. I've experienced that too." And it's like when you know that someone else has actually experienced something that you've been ashamed about, it makes you feel less alone and it actually starts to alleviate the shame. So you could even like riff out, and I'll do this as well for myself, is like, there's other people that are going through this as well. Like, you know, other people that have had a brain injury and lost so many things in their life, and there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. So just kind of like play with that, freestyle it, let your intuition just sort of like lead you through this experience. And be gentle with yourself. Bring so much love and compassion to yourself when you're experiencing this vulnerability hangover. And if you would like to follow my journey where I am being super vulnerable, you can check out my YouTube playlist that's called My Journey to Embodying My Purpose. I am sending myself and you lots of love on your journey, and remember, there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of.